Back from Lowell Park ahead of Game 10 between the Kettleers and the Hyannis Harborhawks. Welcome back to the Kettleers Starting 9. I'm Joe Pratt, joined with Tyler Danberg and Lily Butler. And Kettleers looking to extend on this great run that they have put together to start off this year. And they kept it going last night with a 3-0 win over Bourne and pitching. Well, that was the story in last night's game. We saw 7 1/3 no-hit innings from the top half of that Kettleers pitching staff, and then Noah Ruin came in to finish things off, and Tyler, it was just a really good all-around game for Kettleers.
It really was. A combined two-hitter for the Kettleers, and like you said, it took 7 1/3 innings for Cavi Castro to get that single to break the ice. But you know what stuck out? Was that the song remained the same at Lowell Park. Tucker Novotny, Chase Hopewell, and Noah Ruin, for the second time in 7 days, not only went out and pitched in the same park, Lowell Park in Bourne, Massachusetts, but they also blanked the Bourne Braves for the second time this year. That's now 2 shutouts for Kettleers pitching. That is the most in the Cape Cod League through 9 games.
And Lily, on the other side, going into tonight's game, a new face on the mound for Kettleers. It's going to be Jansen Kiesel, out of Oklahoma State. What have you seen from him?
Well, you know, he started a no-hitter in his first start at OSU for the Cowboys. And then, of course, for the Harborhawks, we're going to be seeing a guy who's making his first start for the Harborhawks. That is Jamie Arnold out of Florida State. He has not made any starts, but has had 4 relief appearances. And in those 4 relief appearances, 11 strikeouts for Hyannis. So I think it's going to be a nice, interesting matchup on the mound tonight.
And pitching is going to be a huge factor in tonight's game for sure. Like Lily said, 2 guys making their first starts of the year. And we talked with Coach Roberts just a few minutes ago ahead of this pitching contest, and we're going to send it over to that right now. We're here with Mike Roberts ahead of Game 10 between Kettleers and Hyannis here at Lowell Park. And Coach, a big win last night, great pitching performance. Just how was that to watch that unfold in Bourne?
Well, first you said Game 10. Wow, that's a quarter of the way through the season. This is flying. We're going to be out of here before we turn around. I really enjoyed the pitching performance. I thought both teams really threw the ball well. But Novotny, once he got through those first 4 or 5 pitches, and we talked to him a little bit about, look, are you a power pitcher or are you a junk baller? And after he got out of the junk a little bit, and he threw the ball wonderfully. I enjoyed that. And then that's the best I've ever seen Chase throw. He was downhill off the mound. His direction was north-south. And he just said, here it comes, hit it. So that was enjoyable. And, of course, Noah closed it out. So it was a wonderful pitching performance by 3 really solid pitchers that will eventually be in pro baseball.
You say the word downhill when talking about Chase Hopewell. What exactly does that mean for our listeners?
Well, I call it more north-south. Chase calls it, I felt like I was going downhill. You know, what we want our pitchers to do is keep their wrists toward the plate so that we're going, I've called it north-south throwing for years and years and years. If you go into Polar Cave ice cream, which we all love, and you go in there and you see the little cats going back and forth, there's 2 of them up on the wall. You know, that's what we want to do. For a guy like Chase, his mental approach and his focus is, okay, I want to go down the incline of the mound directly at the catcher instead of going east-west and make kind of a horizontal turn. So that's his terminology, is down the mound. Mine is I want him to throw the ball north-south.
If Brett Bateman's bat touched an ice cream cone at Polar Cave, it might melt right now. What have you seen from Bateman at the plate, especially in a game like yesterday when he went 4 for 4?
Well, he better not melt any of that good ice cream now. I'd get mad at him for that. That's the best ice cream in the world. Mark wouldn't like that. But, well, Brett sits still. He doesn't try to do anything fancy. He doesn't try to, drive the ball out of the ballpark. He lets the ball get to him a little deeper than some of the other guys do at times, not all the time. And he has what I call an old-fashioned level swing that I love, that I taught my son years and years ago. And I think those type players become doubles machines. But he just puts the head of the bat on the ball. We've got some other guys. Jay does that really. Jay Harry does that really well. He just puts the head of the bat on the ball. Rodden does it well. So it's old-fashioned buggy whip, hand action. Instead of shoulder action. Boy, you take that whip a little bit and go whoop, and he's got beautiful hand action. Brett, I said this a couple of times, Brett Bateman is a hidden gem out of the University of Minnesota.
And on the other side tonight, Jansen Kiesel's going to make his first appearance for you guys tonight at Oklahoma State. Is there anything that you've seen from him in these first few days?
No, he's through a short bullpen, doesn't have a lot of experience. He does have a good arm, and we'll see whether or not he goes north, south, or east, west and keeps the ball in the strike zone. But he does have a good arm, and we'll look for 3 to 4 innings at the most from Jansen in his first outing. And that's what we do up here. We open the door for players, pitchers, to get out there and escalate hopefully what they did in the spring. And Jansen did not have a lot of opportunity at Oklahoma State, so I'm excited to watch him pitch. No matter how he does, I think he is a young man that can really help us as the season goes along, and tonight's the first step.
First edition this year of the Barnstable Patriots Cup. What makes this matchup in particular a little bit more special?
Nothing. Be honest with you. I look at all the other 9 teams, same, you count it up at the end. They came up, the Barnstable Patriot came up with this, and we're happy to participate in it. We don't focus on it at all. And we want to play well. We're all in Barnstable Township here, and certainly we want to play well, and we're appreciative of the Barnstable Patriot for having the cup. But again, do we talk about it or concentrate on it? No, we'll go through the season, and the guys won't have a clue what's going on. But we're very grateful for their sponsorship and support of the league.
Well, we thank you, Coach, for joining us once again. Now let's send it back to the starting 9. That was Mike Roberts, and now flipping the script into tonight's game. Well, defense has been massive throughout these first 9 games of the year for Cotuit, and it's been headlined by their center fielder, Rodney Green Jr. And Lily, you had a chance to speak with him just a few moments ago, so we're going to send it over to that interview right now.
I'm here with Rodney Green Jr. of the Cotuit Kettleers. Now, Rodney, you've been showing ability to cover a lot of ground out there in center. What does it mean to you, or what's your thought process when you're out there and a ball comes out, looks like it's going to be a tough play?
I've always been taught to just go get it. So, the first thing I think is just get that first step. And if I can get that first step, I feel like I can get to any ball.
And then last night I talked to Coach. He said you were one of the best defenders he's ever seen in college baseball. What does that mean, and how does it feel to be here playing in the Cape Cod League?
It's an honor. Like I've said to everybody I've been around here, I love being here. And just being around the guys and having that energy with the team means a lot to me. So, yeah, definitely.
And then speaking of your teammates, you've been able to play with some of your guys from Cal Berkeley, that being Paul Sean for a little bit, and then, of course, Caleb Lomavita. How does it feel to be here playing with those guys?
Man, it was awesome. Having us 3 up the middle, Paul Sean pitching, Caleb catching, and me in center was honestly a blessing. I never thought I'd be able to see that again, especially knowing that Paul Sean's going through with the draft. So, it was special for me, and I thought that I was honored to be able to do it again for the last time. So, yeah.
All right, thank you so much. Back to the Kettleers starting 9.
Thank you, Rodney Green, for joining the show today on the Kettleers starting 9. And now, time to send things up to the booth, where Tyler and I will have the call against Cotuit and Hyannis. First pitch right around the corner at 5 p.m. We'll see you there.